the channel. In today's video we're going to go through and turn a generous portion of little wooden slats off of pallets into a single plank, and then we're going to go through and make a little riser for a friend of mine. He was commissioning me to go through and make a riser for his desk for his monitors, and he was perfectly fine with me using this medium. I think it will add a rich tone and a nice conversation piece to his desktop setup for his personal home use. And I was actually really happy that he was wanting to commission me and that he enjoys my stylizing of wood and architecture choices. Is a fancy way of saying that he enjoys my style for how I like to make things. And it'll hopefully be a nice little build for him. So we're going to go through, plane these down, make it into a nice laminated board, see how it goes. He's given me a nice generous amount of time to be able to work on this project and kind of move forward with it, and he's given me a lot of creative leniency, if you will, on it. So hopefully everyone will enjoy this little bit of a kind of a challenge to see how well it turns out. And without further ado, we're going to get to it and hopefully you enjoy. Alrighty, so the preliminary drawings that I was given show that he wanted it to be 9 inches by 20 inches. So my thought in this process is to do each board at 3 inches and then have the length essentially be cut down to 20 inches once it's all glued up. So I'm going to go through and laminate these boards together in sets of 3, and then I'm going to go through with the table saw afterwards and square them all up. I'm going to try to get one side nice and square. I've made my cuts on each end, so that way these are square all the way around, essentially. And then once this side is level, I can just cut this end to match this end through the table saw. Pretty straightforward. See how it works. Alright, we're going to give this the old run through. It's had time to sit overnight. So let's see how this good old glue job set up. I know it's going to be a little bit off which is understandable and fine. My dowels weren't 100% straight by any means. I need to get a little better about setting up a jig. I'm having issues with the thickness of the wood and some of the striations of the harder or denser part of the wood versus the softer material, biting, kind of pulling my drill bit a little bit. So I'm going to experiment and play around with that just slightly. So without further ado, a little bit of glue on some of these. It's alright. They're woodworking clamps, they're going to get glue on them. Like, part of me wants to fixate on that. Other part of me is like, just get to the project. I have to say, I am loving these clamps. I got them for some of the larger projects where I needed just a little extra length. First one, not too bad. There's definitely a little bit of deviation, but nothing I can't really plane out, which is awesome. I only glued up to the portion of what I'm actually going to use, so that way when I cut this I have 3 individual pieces versus a glued together piece. Yeah, it should work pretty good. I'm really curious how the stain's going to take to that guy on the inside there. But let's get through the other 2. So they all look very well done, if I do say so myself. But those 3 are done. On to the next step in the process. been a long in the making process. It was a good, fun project. It has taken longer than it should have, sadly. This has been something that has been in the works for a friend of mine for a while now, and everything else just kept popping up, and I feel bad about it, but I'm happy to finally have it ready for him. So hopefully he'll enjoy it. This is a 3-monitor riser. Added in a little stand here for his phone. We have the same phone, so it made it real easy to be able to make one that fits. Well, sawdust, if you can imagine that, of course. But it turned out really well and looks pretty nice in my own opinion. So hopefully he'll like it. He's actually on his way over to take a look at it and see what he thinks. He doesn't know, so it's kind of a little bit of a fun surprise at this point. But it has been something sitting on the back burner that I'm happy to have ready for him. I'm happy for it, and hopefully he enjoys it. And hopefully you enjoyed it as well. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't done that already. We're slowly approaching the 500 mark for subscribers, so halfway there to the 1,000, so hopefully we can get there. This has been fun and interesting, and it's been an interesting year, as with everyone. But thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed, and see you in the next one.